What up, what up? It's your girl, Melanie. Welcome to the ChiLove radio show at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. I hope your weekend was wonderful. Today we have a snowy Monday. It's chilly outside. I hope you all are keeping warm. Today we're going to have some special guests, and I'm going to bring on my Facebook friends who are attending this live as they help me to delve deeper into the issues here in Chicago and some possible solutions. So welcome everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. We have one Facebook user, my Facebook friend Tyrone Christopher, who's a special guest here on the ChiLove radio show today. Thank you very much for agreeing to join us and supporting the ChiLove radio show here at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So how's everything going with you, Tyrone?
Everything's going real good.
That's good.
Real good in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
That's good to know. Okay, so today we're going to talk about more just Chicago. The good things in Chicago, some of the bad things that occur in Chicago, and what we can do about it.
Oh, okay. I'm here to listen about it.
So,
Let's talk about it.
Thanks, that's great. So, firstly, I like to ask, are you a native of Chicago?
Well, kind of like I'm Native American, but
Were you born here in Chicago?
yes, I was born in October the 11th, 1977.
Okay. All right, well, awesome. So, Tyrone, tell us, when you think of Chicago, what comes to mind?
Well, when I think of Chicago, my favorite kind of town of my incredible life was, I was born from the hospital of Rush, was usually known as St. Louis Hospital.
I was born at that hospital too.
But I was born in the projects
Okay.
of 2245 Wesley Street and Reed Corner, the red buildings.
Okay.
That's where my entire life started.
Okay.
From here, West Side.
Tell us about that experience. What were some of your experiences growing up in the projects on the west side of Chicago?
Well, things were quiet. It's been kind of like ups and kind of like downs.
Okay.
But in my incredible experience, I've been taking my life easy, being with my family and all, not getting into the streets, doing drugs, gangbanging, and all that other stuff.
Okay, that's interesting. Because it is said that people are a product of their environment. And for you to grow up in the projects on the west side of Chicago and not be affiliated with the gangs, what do you attribute to keeping you out of the trouble?
Well, it's really hard for me to explain. I hope everybody's listening to this.
We're listening.
This is going to do something. Well, I've been out and about, going places, going to church, which is New Jehovah on the west side, close to near Oak Park, every Sunday.
Okay.
And then I'll be going out on the metro, going to the suburbs, traveling a lot. I've been busy.
Okay, so
Really
you
busy.
keep busy as a way of helping to avoid conflict. Now, when you were younger and you could not move around on the trains and stuff independently as you do now, were you faced with like potential gang activity, drug activity, inappropriate behavior and such?
None whatsoever. Because that's not my life.
Okay, I'm talking about in the environment surrounding you. Was that an issue in that specific area? Was it like a high crime area? Did you find that other guys your age were caught up in the streets and drug and gang life?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody wanted to join the games and everything. They asked me to join the games, but I refused.
Okay. That's very good. ChiLove salute. Very good. Yes. So there was no repercussions for you refusing to join the gang. Did they try to bother you or bully you afterwards?
No, I've been living my best life a whole.
Okay.
With my mom, that's downstairs, that's been with me my whole life.
That's great that you brought up mothers, actually, because I also had a question in how important are relationships with the parent, between the child and the parent, in regards to keeping that child out of the streets and out of the gang activity.
Well, my mom and I, our relationship is really been going strong for these few years. And I gotta say, I have to give God all of that to my mom, because she has been totally wonderful.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Do you think that if your mom did not hold such an important place in your life, that perhaps you would have gotten caught up by the drugs and the gang activity?
Let me say this. If my mom, if it had not been for my mom, I would not be here. I would not be here outside. I would not be here at all. Because let me tell you something. My life is most certain. I've been dealing a lot, hanging out with a lot of people, real people that I know for the past year. But some people want to just move on and doing all this other stuff. And I said to myself, that's not the life for me, because when I've been growing up, doing things that is rightly because of what God has done, He has given me new tools, new ideas, and every goal that I have been focusing on. And there is nothing, and I gotta say this, absolutely nothing compared to what God has in store for me.
Amen. Amen. I stand in agreement with you for whatever you are ordained to be to manifest here in your lifetime. So I stand in agreement with you on that. And before we go on a quick break so that we can let this marinate, I'd like the audience to marinate on Tyrone Christopher's specific words that despite his circumstances, he made the choice to walk in another direction. He made up his mind that this particular lifestyle that he was surrounded by was not for him, and went in the opposite direction. Sometimes we don't know what to do, but you may not know exactly what to do. But if you think opposite of whatever it was you were going to do, that might be a good start. So I'm going to let that marinate for a while. We'll be back in a moment with the ChiLove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium.
Don't make dollars if it don't make sense. Addicted to the money and these dead presidents. I'm stacking up in this cash, it's counting dividends. Don't make dollars if it don't make sense.
Welcome back. It's your girl Melanie. It's the ChiLove Radio Show at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. Thanks for joining us again and continuing to stay for this hour. Tyrone, now I noticed that you mentioned that you move around a lot, which according to Flatlining Violence, this organization who is awakening the spirit of leadership target area, that's actually one of their survival tips. To watch your associates in relationships to avoid setups for injury/death by association. That right there is an issue here in Chicago because we can't help who we're some kin to. We can't help who we grew up with, what neighborhood. And just because a person knows that we are affiliated with each other does not mean that we are taking the same steps as somebody that we may just be cool with or some, and have a relation with.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that in itself, I feel like maybe you should do a little more research before you start to, put these hits out here on people. Find out who it is that you're taking out because it's unnecessary. Also, you said, as far as moving around, be aware of your surroundings and mindful of events. For example, retaliation, anniversaries of somebody's death. A lot of times that's a very emotional time for people, and they are so distraught. That's a peculiar thing to me when it comes to standing up for this street life. I thought you all were under the understanding that your people were gonna die. That's right. Y'all signed up to kill other people, right? So are we thinking that our people not gonna die, your own people not gonna die? But nevertheless, you human. And regardless of what you was doing, you formed some type of relationship with this person, and it hurts. And on the anniversary, a lot of times, for the young man or young lady who got murdered, they'll call it something, for example, John World or something like that. His anniversary, something like that. And you will find the streets filled with those who are in association with these people. And they will be smoking and drinking and playing the music and just coming together. But also know that there is a lot of pain, especially if the person that killed their person has not been taken care of already. So that's something that we as public in the innocence have to be mindful about of what is actually going on in our communities, who is into it with whom, so that we know to stay out of hot spots. So Tyrone, and to be careful visiting people in other areas. Be careful, mind your instincts, and use common sense. For example, if something, and a lot of people refer to the Holy Spirit as something told me not to go that way. If something is telling you not to go that way, follow that something. If it seems like you are supposed to get to a certain place by a certain time and everything is crumbling around you and pausing you or slowing you down from getting there, that could be protection from God because you don't know what it is that you're going to walk into. So we have to become more aware of ourselves and what it is that is triggering us as people, what it is that is giving us those funny and uncomfortable feelings, because our bodies will let us know when we're not safe. Your anxiety will start to kick up when you're not in a safe surrounding, when you're not around somebody who's good for your spirit. So we do have to be more aware of who it is that we're around. And no one is saying that because a person is affiliated with a certain lifestyle that you just treat them as if they're lowly or something, or in a demeaning manner. You can say what's up, but keep it pushing, because you know what goes on in this particular area. This your mans and them. You grew up with them. You know how they move. And that's okay. Y'all cool. Y'all used to play. A lot of people came up from grasshoppers. And then as life went on, somebody took this direction and somebody took that direction. But when they still see each other, it's, you know, it's all love, even though it's two different lifestyles. But unfortunately, and this is something that I do not respect in the Chiracian nature, you hit the innocent. Can you explain it to me?
Come on now. There you go. Come on. That's it.
Why are the innocent down? How can you call yourself gaining stripes and you didn't even hit your target? But you a savage. Nah.
It's a baby.
Come on now.
Babies out here. People sitting in their homes at their kitchen tables and stray bullets is coming through and changing their entire family structure, who had nothing to do with what was going on.
And look what's been going on out there on these streets. Things, innocent children.
Innocent babies. Innocent babies.
Yeah.
You didn't even give them the opportunity to choose which way they wanted to go.
Right.
You don't know if they had something in them that was going to add to the beautification and to the peace of this world, but you took the baby out. And then what do you do when you take the baby out? Do you hold yourself accountable? Y'all ain't hustling hard enough out here to have no little trap money set to the side so where you can at least pay for a funeral.
Come on.
But you'll get on Facebook and on Instagram waving guns and fake money that you ordered off a Wish. All for clout.
Facts.
Come on. Say that. Say that.
People should not. You're traumatizing people. You're changing other people's lives because you yourself are traumatized.
Yeah.
And you coping with it in a poor manner. My misery personally don't love company, so I'm not trying to pull people into my stuff. If anything, I'm gonna isolate some. Then you got other people in their misery, and they go out and they are going to just infest everybody and everything around them because something is not going right in their life. They're not happy with their life. So instead of taking their energy to see how it is that you could turn your own life around, or trying to tapping within yourself to find some type of inner peace so that you can keep a peace of mind within conflicts, you spread the crap out onto the streets. And unfortunately, sometimes you have a parent who says, not my baby. Mamas, stop it.
There you go.
Your child, know your child. Make your child comfortable enough to where you could kind of see, you know, how they are. Go through spontaneously, go through some phones. Hit them social media sites. See how they corresponding back and forth with their peers.
And here's another thing about it. And I'm going to say this here. We have to hold these parents accountable for these young teenage juveniles' actions for what's been going on out there on the streets, you know. We gotta hold them all accountable for all of this.
Everybody needs to be held accountable. Because, and now I'm not going to say that every child who has gotten off into some street activity is because of poor parenting.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to the parents who are enabling the child. Who you love this little cute little boy, little girl so much that you just can't tell this child no, even though you know it's not going to be good for them later on in life. Even though you know it's not going to be good for society as a whole. Discipline is a part of love. And the city needs to back off and allow the parent to discipline, not beat, discipline the child. Because we have so many other lines that's coming in to where it used to be to where, okay, it was what the mother said or the parents said, and then everybody else got in alignment behind that. Now you have the police saying, okay, well, your mother and daddy said this, but I'm telling you this. The judge saying, okay, they told you this, but I'm telling you this. The teacher is saying, okay, well, you're not at home, so that's not what it goes here, so I'm going to tell you this. We need to come together and unite as a village for the whole of the children.
That's right. Come on.
We need to respect each other. I heard something about, we can go on off into this and we can get to talking. But I'm going to let this marinate for just a moment. And we're going to come back and we're going to continue talking about. So thank you for joining ChiLove Radio Show at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And we'll be back in a moment.
Don't make sense. Addicted to the money and these dead presidents. I'm stacking up in this cash, counting dividends. Don't make dollars if it don't make sense. Addicted to the money and these dead presidents.
Welcome back. It's the ChiLove Radio Show with Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. So I hope you took a moment to marinate and let the discussion that we've had so far today about the violence in Chicago and the effects that our environment and parenting can have on us growing up as a people and as a community, as a city. So let's continue. Let's see. We're having some special guests from Facebook today. Some of my Facebook friends. But we will continue to. Oh, hello. Thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing my video. Facebook, Melanie Hogan. Uh-oh. And I have a special guest here all the way from, I'm not going to tell you her location. But she is a native of Chicago. We can see if she's coming on. So in the meantime, in between time, as my daddy was saying, let's talk about some conflict resolution, some tips from this organization called Target Area Inspires Peace. I actually got their flyer from the police station on 78th and Halsted. So ChiLove, salute to you all. These are survival tips for peace. Being outside in the streets and just being with people, especially in the summertime. I know it's getting cold now, but we here in Chicago, we're always outside. Somebody's always doing something. So here's some tips that you all can take with you. Don't sit in a parked car for an extended period of time. I remember the crime chaser Martin Johnson having that on one of his videos one day, and that was actually one of his tips. He was going live and telling people not to be caught sitting in the cars because everybody is talking about lacking. So sitting in your car, a parked car especially, in a hotspot neighborhood, which is a neighborhood that is known for gang related violence, or theft or something, watch your associates and relationships to avoid injury / death by association for setup. Don't ride in a car with known targets of people you do not know. Now, let's talk about that. If you know you into it with JoJo now, and your mans don't know, he just coming to pick you up so y'all can go kick it. Tell your mans it's on. Don't just have a person get caught off guard because poor little Bobby was just sitting there minding his business. He thought he was coming to kick it, and now he the one who caught the bullet, and you could have just told him you got some beef. So if you know that you are into it with people, the least you could do is let your people know so that they can have a heads up as well. And I want to say this too, because you have people that support you. I think we all have somebody who would come running up if need be on, your behalf. So just because you have people who will step in the face of trouble for you, don't use that as a precursor to just start bullcrap. Because you know that you have all these cousins and, affiliates or whatever who will come and handle the situation. Because one day you might run into somebody who see a group coming in, especially if you're instigating stuff. It's a difference if you are responding as a reaction to something that was done to you. And it's another when you're out here instigating and imparting negative energy onto other people for no justifiable reason. So be careful with that, because especially people with like large families or just, used to having a lot of people around them who will pop off or tee up or whatever it is that you want to call it. Be careful before you be the reason why your people hurt. Be careful before you be the reason why y'all burying so and so. Don't start stuff out here. If you have something going on within you that is making you start stuff with other people, you just irritated because the wind blow, you irritated because you woke up this morning, that's a deeper personal issue. And it should not be taken out on society. I don't want you to take it out on yourself. I would like you to find some type of help for yourself. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to say, I'm not able to control these unhealthy thoughts in my mind. I'm not able to control myself once my anger reaches a certain level. And something that you could do for that, if you know that your temper, your anger is an issue, you need to identify your triggers. Does this certain people or these certain people or this particular subject, does it take you from 0 to 60? If it does, perhaps you should see if you could stay away from whatever that trigger is, or minimize the interaction between you and that trigger. Or change your own perception, because hurt people do hurt people. So the person that may be triggering you is hurt themselves. So that's not to say to become a martyr for anybody and just allow somebody to bludgeon you. But at the same time, we all need to have some understanding, because unfortunately here, the majority has been affected by post-traumatic stress disorder in one way or another. Some form of trauma in one way or another here on these Chicago streets, which has been nicknamed Chirac. It's going to take some time, but we can do this. And if everybody started to look within yourself to see what you can heal within yourself, then that'll help to take the weight off of somebody else from having to carry their party in your part. A lot of times people want the fruit of it, but they don't want to till the land, they don't want to plant the seed, they don't want to water the garden. That's not how it goes. You're going to have to make some conscious changes in your life. You're going to have to not just talk about it, but be about it. It's a process. Again, I say, there will be times that you do slip up, and that's okay. Because you take that situation that made you slip up and you say, okay, what is it that I have going on right now? Am I feeling overwhelmed by something to why this particular situation right here took me over the edge? What about this particular situation bothered me so? Sometimes it'll be a situation with that person, but low key, the situation reminds you of something a long time ago that just got re-triggered back in your mind through somebody else. And those are all things that we have to face And we have to deal with it, and we have to say, okay, this is what happened. Just the facts. I can't do nothing about it. Because oh so often, we always wish we could have something. We don't have those little men in black pens to, flash and the memory is gone. So we have to just accept this is what happened. Okay, how do I feel about what happened? I hate it. You quoting Scarface. You want to go there in the middle of the night, And that's understandable. It's a part of the healing process. It's healthy for you to feel that anger depending on something that happened, especially if it was traumatic. But don't allow yourself to stay in it and allow it to put you in a position to where you are changing your life in a negative way. And so many times we feel like, won't nobody care if I'm here or not. But let something happen to you. And you look around and you see your mama still here, who never thought that she would be burying one of her children. You see your sisters. You see people who, you thought ain't really mess with you. And you see the hurt that it has caused them because they loved you. And depending on how you died, they might be willing to put their lives in a situation just to avenge your death. So sometimes it might look like you're not loved. We all so wrapped up in what we have going on a personal note that we can come across as inconsiderate to others at times. But you have worth here. You may not realize what it is. You may not realize how you are impacting and inspiring your little brother, your little sister, somebody that's looking up to you while you feeling like everybody is looking at you like you're nothing. It's somebody who see that light up in you. And if we can all start to see that light within ourselves and start to attack and deal with those issues that's dimming us as individuals, that's dimming us as a people, it won't be no Chirac here. This is the thing about Chicago and the greatness thereof is that we can do anything. When Chicago first was forming, it was like a nasty little trash mine, like it was not good for business. And what did our people do? Yes, they started to bootleg and do some illegal underground activities, but they took that money and they invested in the community and they started to build up those areas. So I'm not advocating that you go underground to get your money to help build up. But I'm just saying that we can do anything. We have to just make up our minds to do so. And it's going to get hard. And know that when you start to say, okay, I'm going to step away from this particular lifestyle and I'm going to walk over here. Baby, you're going to get tested. Ooh, you're going to get tested. You are going to get tested. But it's good because it's a lesson. It's like life is school. It's showing you where you're good at and where you still need to work on yourself. And if you become more and more aware of that, you will be able to improve yourself. Your energy will start to impact those around you. We could get the job here. We can get it done. It's all love and ChiLove. Y'all know that? Love and hugs. If I could have it my way. Set it out to where everybody will win. But I do understand that there's going to have to be some reconditioning. Some things are going to be some things have to be torn down. Strongholds have to be brought down. Things have to be affected on the spiritual level, on the financial level, on the physical level, on everything. It needs to be a total care plan. And then after you make your care plan, you create your risk management plan. So just in case this part don't work, how can I still get the job done? I'm from Providence, St. Mary. We found a way to make one way or another. And I have to give a shout out to my grandmother, because it was her energy and her spirit of that finding a way to make one. The people up in my family. So they put me in alignment with the school who would continue to instill in me what they were instilling in me at home. So everything that we allow our children to participate in, and the people that we allow to be continuous influences on them, they do start to affect the character. So I know we've been talking for a little minute now, and we're going to take a break. I'll be back momentarily with the ChiLove Radio Show at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium.
I'm stacking up of this cash, counting dividends, counting money, I'm flipping up, and I do it all again, cause I'm addicted to the money. I'm addicted to the cash. I'm addicted to the money.
Back to the ChiLove Radio Show at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. Thank you all. Thank you to my special live guests from Facebook, Tyrone Christopher, and those of you who are liking and sharing Melanie Hogan on Facebook. So, we had a pretty serious conversation today. And it's all out of love. Because despite circumstances, we all have greatness within us. And I just want the best for everybody, including myself. And I can only think about myself. But even if I'm doing good and I see others doing poorly, it touches my heart. So, all of my words are out of love. And I thank you all for attending the ChiLove Radio Show with me tonight. We're going to go into the it just touched my heart. I'm just thinking about everything going on here in Chicago. And it's like you can just feel the pain from a lot of people. So hugs to you all. But I want to thank Target area for putting the flyer in the police station on 78th and Halsted. And on a brighter note, because we have to have balance, so we just were talking about something so serious. Now let's have a little fun at Oceans this Saturday.
What'd you say?
Birthday party. Who is it? The Prince of Pain, baby. It's Pop Radio Worldwide. Come party with them. Oceans Saturday, November the 16th. What time we get now?
10 to 4 a.m.
10 to 4 a.m.
We got B-Hype, Twister Man, and we got Cuban Link special performance.
B-Hype, Twister Man, and Cuban Link as special performer. If y'all know anything about Pop, the West Side, Chicago, when we party, we have fun. Let's be safe. Watch our alcohol intake. If you know you can't handle it, don't push it. But come on out Saturday and let's have a ball. Wish Pop a happy birthday and give him some love. It was a joy having you all with me again, family, for the ChiLove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium, sponsored by ChiLove LLC. I'll see you next Monday. Love.
To the money, addicted to the cash. Them suckers blowing smoke, baby, I be the gas. things let them hate, keep them tormented. Foreplay with a dab, whip it, sauce on it. No slow ride with my dash, baby, all on it. Get out of my lane, baby, hard body. Scout with me feet speak, chemo, solid.